That is not a problem. But what are we doing in the interim? What consequences are we putting in place for people to understand that Nigerians are not easy targets for you to assault, for you to jail anyhow, or for you to kill? That message needs to be sent, and it needs to be sent now, because Itunu didn't have to die. That's really just a summary of the entire conversation. She really didn't have to die. Either she changed her name or not, she didn't have to die, because we from the reports we got, it was quite clear that once she was identified as a Nigerian, he said, someone from Bulgaria said, oh, she's going to die here. So either she changed her name or not, they had a set objective in mind to cover up the case. Because the thief in question happens to be the nephew of the DPO. So how long is this going to go on? How long is this going to go on? We need to set a precedence. We need to set a precedence. Enough is enough.
Enough, right. Let's bring the conversation to the studio. We need to set a precedence. That's what Dikbo is saying. Enough is enough. And it is often said that charity begins at home. Now, if we want countries to respect us and our people, where do we begin? I mean, we can't keep being easy targets, like he pointed out.
Yeah. It's funny. When we look at this thing outside this country, I cannot give you what I don't have.
Right.
That is number one. Two, if you want me to treat you well, like there's a saying that says, address the way you want to be addressed.
Yeah.
At home, what is the welfare of the citizen at home? What is the respect for a Nigerian citizen at home? We see, there was a time I worked with Legal Aid Council, and we've been to prison several times, I mean, to interview inmates, and you find out that a lot of people are in the prisons for no reason. A lot of them. No trial, nothing. In fact, they don't even know what they have done. They were taken to court and they were remanded, and that was the last time they were in court. No, if we have that at home, the international body, they see all these things. Those African nations, all these things. Now, if they see that even your own leaders, your own government don't give regards to you as a citizen, now tell me how we want to fight for our people in diaspora. Tell me how we want to talk to any government, how we want to use our might as giants of Africa, in quote, on those people. What is the GDP of Ivory Coast? How many are they? 24-something million, about thereabout. They're not even Lagos State population of Lagos State. So what are we talking about? Every state, and we, here, Africans, we go everywhere, the Asian, the Europe, the Americans, everywhere, and there's issue with an African person. Now, even in Africa, among ourselves, there's no love, there's no unity. We still, because for this particular incident, it is sad. Like we are talking about Itunu. There are several hundreds of Itunu in that same prison, and in every other African nations. So what is our government doing? What, seriously, the leadership here? Because if they see that you don't joke with your people in your own country, no one will try it. You want to, we can see, we see Americans there, we see one person, just one American. And when they see this thing, they know that nothing will come out from it. Those ones that they don't even care about their citizens, are they the one that want to come to, they will make noise, they will say they are doing so, and in the end, the truth is we may not hear anything on this matter after this time. The autopsy will come and they will say it's a natural cause of death or something, they will blow some grammar and that will be it. And more, there are a lot of people.
But we can't continue like that.
It's sad that we can't continue like that. Then we need to start. They need to see us. They need to see that we value our people. They need to see that life is important. They need to see that our leaders know that, okay, every Nigerian is important. No one is more Nigerian than other. The same way the continent, because the might we have in this continent, you can't underestimate it. So why can't we use that power? Why, when Nigerian coughs, why can't every other African nations
catch colds?
Catch colds. But we have played to their hands, to the gallery, because we look so irresponsible to some of them, and that is why they will take us for granted. That is why any African nations, we care not about our Nigeria, every Nigeria, anywhere you go, once you mention that you're in Nigeria, you're in trouble. You heard what he said, what Dr. said, that there was an allegation that he said when she got there, they told her that, you in Nigeria, you would die here.
Die here.
No. So that's the reason why I'm asking for a thorough investigation on this matter. Everyone that is involved, if this allegation is found to be true, then they should pay for it.
Right.
So that if we insist and we get it done, then every other African nation or everywhere in the world, they will know that we don't joke with our people. But if we just let it go, I don't think we want to start.
Now, where does holding government to account with regards to citizenship come in? Dipo, quickly, before we let you go.
It comes in every area, and I believe that's what we're trying to do here as well. Yes, we need to hold government accountable, and government needs to be responsible. They also need to be responsive to the issues of their people. He's talked about the United States. They have a wide array of issues over there as well. They have institutionalized racism. However, if you are an American and you happen to be a black American and you get into trouble somewhere, you get the full weight of the government behind you to come get you, or to come save you, or to come rescue you, or to come render some form of assistance. Doesn't mean that when you get back home, maybe a week after, you don't get gunned down by a police officer. That's a different conversation. But what I'm trying to say is, as Nigeria, we have a lot of waste to throw around. We need to throw it around. Enough is enough. We need to stop cowering around whatever reputation we believe we have, Giant of Africa, or whatever that is. By now, I expect that the ambassador of Cote d'Ivoire to Nigeria should be put on notice already, and they should know that whatever the investigation reveals, there will be consequences. That is how to throw your weight around.
All right, we'll leave the conversation here now. Thank you so much, strategy consultant Dipo Oyewole, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we must thank you, lawyer and social commentator Olayinka Ola Daniels, for your time.
Thank you for
as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's the much we have on the program this morning. But let's tell you that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View, and after that we have This Morning with Yori Folarin. Do stay with us and do stay safe as well. Bye for now.
Join Grace Nation International, aka Liberation City, for our 18th year anniversary, tagged 12 Days of Glory. Date Wednesday 17th to Sunday 28th of November, 5 p.m. daily. Thursday 18th, time 7 a.m. Sunday 21st, 7 a.m. Thursday 25th, 7 a.m. Friday, Vigil 26th, 8 p.m. Saturday 27th, 5 p.m. Sunday 28th, 7 a.m. Grace Nation International Headquarters, Block 4 to 12, Shofison Street, Ojudu Bega, Lagos, Nigeria. Ministry, Bishop George Bloomer, Pastor Jabal Bryant, Bishop Isaac Idahosa, Prophet Jeremiah Omoto Fufe, hosts Dr. Chris Okafor, Ministry in Song, Sinach, Team Godfrey, Mr. M and Revelation, Eben and Jadale. For more information, please call +234 8032 729060 or +234 807 337 5176. Jesus.
Tasty fried chicken, seasoned fried fish, French fries. But cooking fried food sometimes feels like going to war. Different cooking pans, hot oil spills, lots and lots of oil, meaning added calories. And cleaning is a disaster. Scraping, what a chore. But not anymore. Introducing the new ShopX Power Air Fryer XL, the revolutionary kitchen miracle with one-touch technology. Our Power Air Fryer fries with superheated cyclonic air with little to no oil and up to 80% less fat. It does the job of your grill, oven and stovetop all in one neat, compact and versatile device. The ShopX Power Air Fryer has just set it and walk away from perfect French fries in 18 minutes, delicious fried fish 7 minutes, crispy golden chicken 20 minutes, mixed spring rolls and samosa in just a few minutes. It's amazing. The secret is the rapid hot air technology. This superheated cyclonic air flows around your food quickly, creating a golden brown crispy outside while locking the moisture inside. It's so simple to use. The ShopX Power Air Fryer offers an all-in-one alternative to 5 different cooking methods. Air fry your food, grill juicy steaks and fish, bake delicious pizzas and desserts, saute onions and peppers, and roast a whole chicken that is so juicy on the inside. Air frying produces healthier fried foods than other traditional frying methods. Look, almost 15% of oil is absorbed into chips when frying, but with the ShopX Power Air Fryer, only 0.0025% of oil is absorbed. Plus, the fry basket has specially designed vents for all that fat and grease to drain away into the container below. Plus, your Power Air Fryer basket cleans with ease. Discover how quickly and easily you can cook with the 5-in-1 ShopX Power Air Fryer. It's cleaner and healthier than traditional deep fry methods and will transform the cooking experience for the entire family. Incredible!
With over 1 million units sold worldwide, the ShopX Power Air Fryer is taking the industry by storm and is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. Call the number on the screen now or visit our website at shopxtv.com and get the ShopX Power Air Fryer for just 76,945 naira only.
But wait! Every day is Black Friday this November at ShopX TV. So, order now and get the ShopX TV Power Air Fryer for just 69,251 naira. That's 10% off. Amazing.
But hurry, this exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited period only. So call now while stocks last.
ShopX TV are proud to be the exclusive distributors of the Power Air Fryer products across West Africa.
The proceeding was brought to you by ShopX TV.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it.
Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Takwe Makodiga. How are you doing today? law and order, because this same military went to Alausa and they were there in Ikeja and there was no massacre there. So what happened? Who gave therefore the instruction, therefore, where in Ikeja? So is it therefore fair to
that criminalized the torture of suspects in Nigeria. Now, let us wait and see, because they are saying, oh, we're because there are 36 states in Nigeria. How many of those states have even submitted their reports? Effective. The public-private partnership, the government has a serious stake in LCC. Let the governor implement those that are within his power.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so
for
much.
sharing your thoughts on this. I think we have to wrap up on this. We'll look forward to the white paper. It's going to take about 2 weeks. And we know the governor of the Lagos State has demonstrated in good faith to constitute this panel of inquiry. And I mean, I'm also particularly impressed that they were independent enough to carry out this investigation. Because I remember I was telling somebody the other day, when I was a young girl, during the Babangida and Abacha regime, this was almost impossible. But thank God for democracy that these people were allowed to work independently. Now we have this report. The next steps is what we're waiting for. That the governor of Lagos State did show that he in good faith that this committee was set up. We also have in good faith implementation of the white paper, which we're expecting in the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been my pleasure speaking with these powerful ladies.
That is all we can take on this segment. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Guys, we can't leave. We've got to finish the client's order tonight.
This time?
How about some top tea to cheer us up?
Only one bag of top tea makes 2 strong cups, so taste to know more flavor, enjoyment, friendship, and upliftment.
Wow, this looks gorgeous. Beautiful.
Taste to know. Top tea.
How to make a perfect bowl of love?
A perfect blend of taste that brings every ingredient to life. The fusion of different spices. The unique aroma that rejuvenates your senses. The heartwarming deliciousness. And the satisfaction that comes from every bite, which makes you say, I love my Indomie.
Join Grace Nation International, aka Liberation City, for our 18th anniversary, tagged 12 Days of Glory. Date, Wednesday 17th to Sunday 28th of November, 5 p.m. daily. Thursday 18th, time, 7 a.m. Sunday 21st, 7 a.m. Thursday 25th, 7 a.m. Friday, Vigil 26th, 8 p.m. Saturday 27th, 5 p.m. Sunday 28th, 7 a.m. Grace Nation International Headquarters, Block 4 to 12, Shortison Street, Ojodu Bega, Lagos, Nigeria. Ministry, Bishop George Bluma, Pastor Jabal Bryant, Bishop Isaac Idahosa, Prophet Jeremiah Omoto Fufe, hosts Dr. Chris Okafor, Ministry in Song, Sinach, Team Godfrey, Mr. M and Revelation, email at Jadale. For more information, please call +234 8032 729060 or +234 807 337 5176. Jesus is Lord.
As a business owner, there is no such thing as work-life balance. You are constantly working even when you shouldn't.
I need a great team.
Yes, you do. And Jobberman can help you find the perfect fit so your business can grow bigger and better. Jobberman is the recruitment partner you need to take your business to the next level. Go to www.jobberman.com/employer/hire-better today.
The winner is
Africa. Are you ready for this? Wake up, Motherland, to electrifying performances at the 2021 All-African Music Awards. Afrima, from November 19th to the 21st, 2021 at Eco Hotels, Lagos, Nigeria.
featuring African Music Business Summit, a platform for business networking and interaction among music professionals.
Join Afrima Music Fest, an evening of non-stop music concerts with live broadcasts and performances from African music superstars. Date is Friday, November 19th from 6 p.m.
Sunday, November 21st comes with all the glitz and glam from Africa's music superstars, celebrities and international personalities at Afrima Awards Ceremony. Red carpets 4:30 p.m, awards 7:30 p.m.
All at the Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. For tickets and seat reservation, visit www.afrima.org. Brought to you by GoBed247.com.
Navadine ahead.
Address home, Afrima. Still we sing for hope, for celebration.
Heartburn and indigestion? Try Gestede. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Gestede. Reliable remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas. It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
In the month of November, 25 years ago, on the 7th of November, an ADC airline flight crashed at Ejinri, a suburb of Lagos, killing 114 passengers and crew. This again brings the aviation sector under focus. On the 10th of November 1995, Niger Delta environmental activist Ken Saro-Wiwa was executed by hanging. 26 years after, has the question that led to his death been answered? The 14th is dedicated to creating awareness on diabetes, which is responsible for over 1.5 million deaths globally per year. On the 16th, the world marks International Day for Tolerance. And on the 17th, International Students' Day will be marked. 19th is for the male gender on International Men's Day. And on the 25th, efforts to end gender-based violence take center stage as the world marks International Day for the elimination of violence against women. Stay with TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have the chairman of the Economic Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, Abdul Rashid Bawa, to discuss the anti-corruption drive of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, last time you were here, you were the zonal commander in Lagos State, and we're really happy about it. Just for us to hear, better being he's in Abuja, talking to the president and all that. Tell us, how was the transition from coming from Lagos State and now having to deal with the national cases on EFCC?
Well, thank you very much once again for having me. The transition has been good. You know, all my life I've worked at the EFCC. The EFCC's job is the only job that I've done in my life. As a young officer, you know, rising through the ranks, I never expected that, of course, you know, I will reach the peak of my career at such a young age. Well, of course, when it happens, I was, as one of our elders have said before, some years back, I was besieged by several emotions of pride, emotions of humility, emotions of joy, and all of that. And it's really a good feeling that I and my colleagues, you know, are now the helms of affairs at the EFCC, you know, doing what we have to do or what we have been trained to do to ensure that this country is rid of economic and financial crimes.
Right.
But of course, you know, being an investigator is different from being a team leader, from being a sectional head, from being a zonal commander, and then of course being the chairman is a different ball game in its entirety. Now that you have the entire country, you know, at your disposal, you know, to ensure that things are done rightly and correctly. The timing, of course, is not enough. 24 hours always. You know, you have to work and ensure that building the system as well as reaching out.
When you got the job, what did the president tell you? When you doing that, what did he tell you? What was the brief? What did he tell you after you became chairman? What did he tell you?
Morayo, do you think that I will sit here and tell you what I discussed with the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Everybody knows the president's stand, you know, on corruption. Everywhere, you know, we have his picture looking down on us, you know, reminding us that if we don't kill corruption, corruption would kill this country. The political will that the country has been clamoring for, you know, for the fight against corruption is now here with us. You know, everybody has seen that. Everybody is having the feeling, you know, that corruption is being fought, and that has been the position or the life of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that is what the EFCC is set out to do. So discussion is on that path. You know, we are the professionals. We should go and do what we have to do to ensure that the country is rid of the menace of corruption.
Yes. So, you know, I was thinking that I'm sure it didn't take you didn't have enough time to even enjoy that period, that congratulatory period, because you had to hit the ground running. And a lot of people have said, you know, we're seeing you a lot on TV, we're seeing you at court cases as witness. You seem quite hands-on and involved. Is this a strategy of yours? Is this how it should be done? Or what is this specifically your strategy that you brought in place so that people see you front and center?
Well, of course, every leader is supposed to, you know, lead from the front, you know, and you have to lead by example. I have to be there. I have to show that, yes, it can be done and all of that. But I think maybe if I understand you correctly, you are trying to say, why is it that maybe as the chairman I'm in court or I'm testifying and all of that?
Big man chairman now, you're at the back. We have to call and call and call before we reach big man chairman. But this chairman is in front.
No, but I'm a practitioner. You know, I think the difference is the fact that, of course, chairman is more of a supervisor, is more of a coordinator of how things should be done, how things should be carried out. But then before I became the chairman, I have investigated quite a number of cases myself. I have cautioned a lot of people. I have, you know, witnessed recording of statements. I have carried out, you know, several investigation activities from, what do you call it, from statement, analysis of the complaint, of course, up to the conclusion of sending the case to legal department. So I have to be the one to testify in those cases that I was deeply involved from the beginning. And it so happened that I'm the chairman, and then I have to go to the court to testify as an investigator. So that is what it is.
All right, so let's talk about the job proper.
Yes.
You have, the EFCC has been in the news recently and lately for barging into people's rooms in the middle of the night in commando style. And a lot of Nigerians are not really finding it funny. We've seen videos on social media where innocent people came out to say, I just went to this hotel to have a good time, and then EFCC officials barged in and they couldn't even apologize. They told me, you know, those stories have been out there. What do you say about this? Is this the style that we should now begin to expect and adopt, that this is the way EFCC operates? Or do you think it's just the overzealousness of some of your officials?
Neither of such. You see, BC, the EFCC is an institution that was established in 2002. We have done quite a lot in investigation and prosecution of cyber criminals and, you know, advanced fee fraudsters, if I am allowed to use that word. It is not part of who we are, you know, by our mandate to be violent in nature and whatever. After all, economic and financial crimes are non-violent crimes by definition. If you look at the provision of Section 46 that define economic and financial crime, it is defined in there as the non-violent, you know, crimes carried out by individual, group of individuals in an organized manner, etc., etc. Now, we're in the world of social media, where one small thing can be amplified to look as if that is what we are doing, or that is what you are doing as an individual or as a group. It is not in our character. That is not what we set out to do. That is not what has happened. You know, look, from January to date, we have arrested nothing less than 2,000 alleged suspected cyber criminals across this country. And then you have one or two, you know, persons complaining about something. Of course, we need to be concerned, you know, about human rights, about people's privacy, etc., etc. But then, if you look at the statistics vis-a-vis people that were arrested or people that are complaining that this is what has happened and all of that, then we're looking inwards to see that where we are wrong, you know, we correct that and we admit, we apologize, you know, and then we move on. But I want to assure you that all the sting operations that we carried out, we carried them professionally. We carried them within the ambit of the law. You know, we are a law-abiding institution, and will continue to be a law-abiding institution to the latter.
So let's share a few victory stories. You've been appointed since the 24th of February this year, and I would like you to share, because many times Nigerians have been, over the years, built a level of distrust of the system. And I always say that because we don't hear enough from our officers, whether officers of the law or political officers, we don't know they are working. We don't believe they are working. I would like you to tell us, since you came on board in February 2021, what are the cases you've won, cases you lost, recoveries that have been made, landmark achievements that you would say this journey has been worth it for you so far, and that would encourage Nigerians to keep trusting EFCC to continue to do the job they've been created to do?
Yes, I think, I don't know whether I'm qualified to say that, but as a Nigerian, I know that we have to learn to trust our leaders. Very important. You know, how can somebody wake up in the morning, dress up, see his children off to school and then set out to go to his office, and then he will not be working? You understand? You understand? The Nigerians should expect that people are working. But are we working maybe to expectation in all strata of government? You know, some are not, etc., etc. But coming down to what you said, you know, the 3,816 officers of the EFCC, I assure you, since when I came on board, they have been cooperative. We have been working round the clock, you know, to ensure that we are, you know, solidifying our stand in the country as an institution. We are engaging stakeholders. We are collaborating with, you know, stakeholders from within and outside this country. And let me tell you this: we deliberately try to, you know, change some strategies regarding how some of these things are being done. But yesterday, one of your, you know, colleagues asked me in court, and I told her that we have recorded from January to the 4th of November 2021, an unprecedented 1,499 convictions.
Wow.
Now, this morning, I received a briefing regarding, you know, the number of convictions that we have secured as at yesterday. And the number is 1,576. That is an unprecedented number of convictions.
Sorry, convictions mean that they're going to jail. Do
Yes.
we have space to accommodate these people?
Yes, of course.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
I always thought we didn't have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you mentioned about this. Out of this, we are changing the narratives here, because I also want to report that 122 were discharged and acquitted. Now, compare that, you know, with the success that we have recorded in terms of convictions, and that is, it shows that we have lost, you know, if I want to use that word loss, I don't want to use it, but they were discharged, you know, less than 10%.
Right.
So that means for the number of convictions, if you compare, you know, as a way of measurement, you will see that, yes, 90% of the time we are successful in court.
Right, so let me ask you this. What are some of your frustrations as an EFCC chairman? Because this is Nigeria. There's always a Nigerian factor. They're big men, they're big connections, long legs. And what are some of your frustrations as a chairman? What have you seen that's impeded your success so far?
Attitude of Nigerians.
Okay. At what level? Up, low?
Everywhere. You know, there's problem everywhere, you know, Marayo. Let me tell you. A tomato seller will want to put in the bad ones, you know, beneath the basket. And then the good ones on top. What is she doing? She's trying to cheat.
Corruption.
Because that is where she has the opportunity to do that.
At every level.
A commissioner in a state, a governor of a state, a minister, that is where he has the opportunity. And that is why he is doing what he has to do. Have you ever been to the airport and you want to ease yourself and you enter the toilet and you see the way the boys are behaving to you and all of that? They are trying to do as if they want to do you a favor by giving you tissue or by giving you, you know, I don't know how they do that. They will understand that, you know, I'm a Muslim somehow, and then everybody would be rushing to go and get me a kettle so that I will ease myself with it and all of that, you know, trying to find a way of getting something out of you and all of that. So it's the general attitude of Nigerians, you know, and if you spread the map, you know, Marayo, you will tend to agree with me that this country is a very religious country. You know, there is no country in this world that, you know, that is as religious as this country. The number of churches we have, the number of mosques we have, the way we are passionate about that. That's supposed to reflect in our character as Nigerians, to do the right thing always. You understand? To change our attitude and ensure that, you know, in every facet of our life, wherever you find yourself, you are doing the right thing. This country is rich enough, is big enough, is, you know, to take care of itself. I think that is the biggest frustration. Wherever you thought you are going to see some of these things manifesting, but we are optimistic. You know, things are changing in this country. Opportunities are being blocked to do some of these things, and people are talking. On our part, we are trying to engage religious bodies to ensure that, you know, they preach some of these problems of anti-corruption to the extent that people will realize that, look, we have that collective responsibility to ensure that the right thing is done always for the betterment of everybody.
Yeah. So we, you know, I commend the EFCC for the numbers that you just mentioned, you know. But you know, Nigerians now, we say that's small fry. Let's talk about the big time ones.
Big fish.
Exactly. There are two right now, you know, out there. So we have the MENA, when Nigerians are saying, okay, EFCC did this job, we've got him to be prosecuted. But how does EFCC feel about that sentence? Nigerians say that it's not commensurate to what he's done. And also the...
Have you sold the jury also?
Well, let me start with the first.
Let me also add,
yes.
They also accused EFCC of bungling some of their court cases. Our lawyers not good enough? Are the prosecuting lawyers, are they better equipped and better prepared than EFCC lawyers?
Mariam, you have asked 10 questions in one, so you have to help me to break them so that I will answer them. Well, let me start by telling you, you know, that it is all within our mandate to investigate the small fries, as you call them, as well as the big fries. But the length of time in which you need to conclude an investigation of an alleged advanced fee fraudster is different from the length of time that you require to investigate the big fish that you talk about. Because you are talking about complex money laundering type of cases, you know, that requires you to travel beyond the shores of this country to engage, you know, with several other law enforcement agencies across the shores of this country. So you tend to see that the turnover of cases involving some of these small fries, let me use your word, you know, is very high. It's part of our mandate to investigate, to, you know, enforce Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Related Offences Act, the cybercrime law, and all of that. So, but I want to assure you that the big cases you are talking about, we are working tirelessly on them. And I know that, God willing, before the end of this year, you know, we are going to commence prosecution of a lot of some of these big fries you talk about. You know, other former governors or former ministers, or whatever you are going to see.
I'll come to BC, but I want to ask about this big fry a bit, because someone like me now, he's been convicted, he's going to 8 years, right? I think it's 8 years.
8 years.
Help us describe the cell he's going to. Is it a nice living room, house, pretty, or is it like the movies where it's one color 6 by 2 feet, you know, like a regular cell? They're dirty, and he's going to be eating from hard labor. Is it with hard labor? People say, I don't have a picture of where Mina is going.
Let me start by answering what Mariam have asked, you know, in relation to the subject. The subject has been convicted, you know, he has been convicted. We're very happy with the judgment. He's going to serve 8 years, you know, cumulatively it's about 60 years. You know, restitution is made to the government, of course, and all of that. So, we still have another case against him, and of course the civil forfeiture proceedings, you know, taking place. In relation to the question asked by Mariam regarding that, I think you need to invite the CG of Correctional Services to answer that. Ours is to go to the court, present our case, you know, and then at the end of the day, you know, the judge will make pronouncement, and then of course we hand over to the people that are supposed to put him in custody. You have asked about it. Let me just, the government have not sold a single, you know,
that brand that is
property,
not sold it.
property recovered, you know, etc., etc. So we are working towards that.
Did you touch that brand? Did you touch it? Did you touch it? Did you touch that brand? Did you see it? Or you're just hearing about it, or did you the jewelry? Did you feel it with your hands to know that it's diamonds, or they're just telling you it's diamonds? I want to know, because I'm
on the lighter notes.
On the lighter
please
notes.
It's fair to everybody at all times. Justice is a two-way thing. There was nothing like diamond bra. It's just the creation of
I saw a picture.
social media.
What?
I can tell you that for free because I'm the lead investigator on that, so I can tell you that. Don't be surprised.
Front page.
Surprised
We saw the
on that
picture.
and all of that.
Wow.
I'm not aware of it. And if there is something like that, I should know because I led the search and all of that. So.
Thank you for clarifying.
This is serious.
We the people.
And that is one of the things that I mentioned to you that in the biggest problem that we have is our attitude and all of that. We need to change for better.
Yeah, so I watch a lot of American films, permit me, and a bit worried about the modus operandi of some people who have been invited to the EFCC. So what we see in most of these Hollywood movies is the fact that they would profile, they would investigate before they finally invite you and question you and, you know, arrest you if there is a need for it. Yeah. But we hear a lot of young Nigerians come out to say, I was invited, I was questioned, I was detained for a few days, and then they released me without telling me what I have done. There's no case against me, and then they take my personal effects. So can you help us clear on your modus operandi, how exactly you investigate and, you know?
It's not true. You see, it's not true. Look, there are instances whereby somebody is arrested, for instance, on his way to, let's say, Dubai, carrying some hard currencies that he has not declared. Okay. So he's already arrested based on the fact that he has not declared those things. And then, of course, he's being handed over to the EFCC for further investigation. Okay. So is there any time to say, no, we're not going to arrest you? We want to go and profile you first and then come back and arrest you? No.
No, that's a different case.
So that's a different case. There are instances whereby we have an intel to say that, no, look, this place or this building, you know, is warehousing, you know, suspected advanced fee fraudsters. You understand? And of course, you know, you have to act. You understand? But of course, there are some other cases where we go on with our investigation for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years without any invitation. People can be mischievous, you know, to say all sorts of things. But what you said regarding the movies, they are movies, they are fictions, you know, and all of that.
Let's jump in here.
It's not in every instance that you need to profile this, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, at times, of course, during the course of your investigation, you reach, you know, a point where you need to invite that person to come and answer and shed more light. Because, of course, you know, even if you charge him to court, he is innocent until proven guilty. Right. So he can be asked to come, you know, a few questions will be asked. How can you invite somebody without telling him what he has done or why you are inviting him? Exactly. Come on.
We see that
you
in
know,
the
at least.
So, sir, let me quickly throw in 2 quick questions. You've been in EFCC almost like the inception, like they started in 2003, you joined 2004, and you've been blessed to be at the head. We know that in every agency there's the Nigerian element of corruption. Since your appointment as the chairman of EFCC, have you prosecuted any within the EFCC? Has anybody been fired for misconduct on investigation or found corrupt within the EFCC? Do you have any statistics of such? Number 1. Number 2 is there is an incessant, in recent times, back-to-back breaking news of investors going bad, investments going bad, and we'd like to find out from you, what is the process? How can we involve EFCC for those watching who's invested money and found out that is a Ponzi scheme or something? How do they resolve it? So those are the 2 questions.
Yes, EFCC is among the few government agencies that have a full-fledged Department of Internal Affairs. It's like the police of the EFCC. The department was established in 2013. It has a director, you know, they have their own staff, you know, etc., etc. And the department is well equipped to do all of that. You know, they have a file on me, they have a file on anybody in the EFCC, and they are looking at us. I also want to let you know that that department, you know, is also licensed. We have the equipment for polygraph. You know, testing capability. We have it there, you know, where scientifically somebody can be asked on things. And for the first time in the history of court processes in Africa, polygraph test was tendered in court and it was admitted. You understand? So even if we don't have, clear, evidence and all of that, some of these things can help, to enable us have an indication of whether somebody is lying also. I want to tell you that, look, with deep heart, I have had cause to approve dismissal of several officers since when I resumed office. Because of instances of that, of course, human beings are always human beings. You will have some bad elements from within the system. And we are looking, towards, ensuring that we act, the way we're supposed to act, the way we're acting on others, and also on us as well. So if you have anything, against anybody, write to us, and we'll ensure that it is being investigated to the latter. This issue of investment scam that you mentioned, Tope, is something that we have observed. We are working, on that. In fact, as at the last briefing, when we aggregate all the complaints involving investment scam, as well as employment scam, you understand, Nigerians have complained to us to have lost over 200 billion naira complaint. It's a huge problem. It's a Ponzi scheme that is going on left, right, center, and Nigerians have to be wary about anybody that is promising you, some, mine,
money doubling
kind of interest. How can you invest 500,000 and somebody is promising you 50,000 naira every month, and then at the end of that,
you collect your 500.
You collect your 500 back? What is he doing? What is he into? Is he investing in stock exchange? Is he into, what is he into? You understand? Why is it that he's the only person among the 250 million Nigerians that has that idea, to come up with, kind of investment that is bringing in this return? What they are doing is simply what it is, a pyramid scheme. Take from this, give this, take from the new investors.
Well, how does it EFCC help those that have gotten trapped?
We have been working, we are still working tirelessly, on all of that, in all the commands. Is subject of our discussion, I think, even at the last meeting with all the commanders across the zonal offices. We are working. So anybody that has a complaint, please let him come forward with it. And
do they recover the money?
Yes, we have. In some instances, we do. In others, these people are just...
they don't have the money
they don't have the money because they are taking your money and they are giving it to another person. So it is very, very difficult for us to recover 100% of such funds.
One of my concerns is that if we are truly ready to fight corruption, we'll take your job very seriously, because I think you don't have enough operators. You have less than 4,000 operators across the country. If corruption, if we see if it's like the bedrock of one of our issues, we should be able to go out there and launch this huge recruitment plan where we have, in 5 human beings, one is a EFCC operator. No, we're trying to beat corruption, because the tomato seller is there, the bus driver is there, the banker is there, the politician is there. There are different levels.
No, Marayo. We are not. We are optimistic that things will change for better. There are things to consider. You have the prevention aspect. You have the enforcement aspect and the asset recovery aspect. In the EFCC, some weeks ago, we launched our strategic plan. And we have the 4 strategic objectives are in there, for everybody to see. One of the objectives there is the increased public engagement in the fight against corruption. Okay. Me being here is part of it. You understand? We want Nigerians to be on board. This. We want Nigerians to take ownership of this wherever they are. So we don't have to police everybody. We are embracing technology. One of the objectives that we have there is to have intelligence-driven investigation, prevention, and asset recovery. That is the way to go. You have to embrace technology to be able to monitor this, to be able to, ensure that you are checkmating this thing without necessarily having humans, doing all of that. One of our strategic objectives, is to have and improve, coordination and collaboration with relevant stakeholders. You have other stakeholders that are out there. You have other law enforcement agencies. So you need not to have an EFCC that has 200,000 or 300,000 so that, no. We need to engage. We need to learn to trust our leaders. And then, of course, we are working towards seeing that system and processes, are improved, for the prevention of this crime. So it's not about the number. We are comfortable about the number, and we will, of course.
Let me get one final question for you before we run out of time. Go ahead.
One is the whistleblower policy and the whistleblowers' safety. Going forward, how far and how well has that worked for the EFCC? Are we getting a lot of people who are willingly coming forward to give information? And secondly, I think you should help me answer the question about the lawyers, the caliber of lawyers the EFCC has.
Let me answer the last one. We have wonderful set of lawyers, that are doing wonders, and that is why you can see that they have won 90 out of 100, or more than 90 out of 100. Look, there is no institution of government that have contributed to the development of law in the last 10 years than the EFCC. Go and check the records. We're busier than any government agencies in court. You understand? I believe we have the second biggest law chamber in this country, maybe behind that of the Attorney General of the Federation. So the lawyers are good. The lawyers are trying their best. We are learning every day. You understand? We have a very good, cordial working relationship with the judiciary. The judiciary have been helpful, from the CJN to the President of the Court of Appeal to the various CJs across, to the judges. And it's for everybody to do and to work together to ensure that, we have sanity in this country. Your second question is on what, Mariam?
Whistleblower.
Whistleblower. I want to appeal to Nigerians that they should all go ahead and download our Eagle Eye. We recently launched an app where you can download, and with ease you will be able to report any economic and financial crime. I want to assure Nigerians that once you do that, we will be able to look at it and deal with it based on its own merit. Nigerians are assisting us with that. They are sending a lot of complaints, and we are working with that. And one of the recent complaints we received through the app led us to a recovery of a very big, real estate in Lagos here, valued at over 400 million.
Wow.
So please key in is about our own public engagement to ensure that, Nigerians are involved. So report this thing. If you didn't say something, the EFCC will not do something. But if you say something, we will surely do something, and the country will be better for it.
Thank you very much. I think on that note, we have to wrap up. Thank you very much. We'll be speaking with the chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Bawa. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me. Only that the studio is full of, there's no gender balance here.
That's all we can take on the show. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
We did not ask you that.
Every day is a busy lifestyle with the simple pleasures of life, like the GREE Smart function from your phone. A difference that sets your style and creativity apart from the rest. You can always find your place anywhere and anytime with the GREE Power of Cool. And to be the world's #1 choice, it's no easy feat. That's because GREE always stands ahead in the game with innovation and technology. While I try to be the best in everything I do, times I appreciate most are with my family. And knowing with GREE, my family will always be taken care of, I never have to worry. When you have a partner in GREE, every day is a cool day.
Here's your chance to become a distributor or dealer of the GREE air conditioning brand.
Scan this QR code
to learn all about the awesome benefit packages and more.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy, balanced diet. But sometimes that's not always easy. Until now, ShopX TV is proud to introduce NutriBullet, the original nutrient extractor. With NutriBullet, you can now easily get your daily recommended fruits and vegetables in a fast, simple, and convenient way. Not by eating them, but by drinking them. The NutriBullet is not a blender. It's not a juicer. Its nutritional breakthrough design is for everyone looking to improve their overall health with nutrition. And it takes just seconds to use and seconds to clean. Here's how it works. First, add spinach for fiber, berries for antioxidants, and some banana for potassium. Add water and watch how the NutriBullet completely breaks everything down. Even almond nuts, cashew nuts, and tiger nuts have been completely broken down, extracting all their essential nutrients, creating a smooth, delicious, nutrient-packed smoothie that can literally transform your life. The secret is NutriBullet's 600-watt motor, combined with bullet-exclusive cyclonic action that forces everything into the NutriBullet extractor blades, breaking down and pulverizing the stems, seeds, and skins, releasing the essential nutrients trapped inside, taking ordinary foods and turning them into superfoods, giving you the strength and energy you need for a full, active lifestyle, whatever your age. The NutriBullet comes with everything you'll need to get started on your path to health and wellness.
I love the NutriBullet. I use it every day, and it's a great way to stay fit and healthy.
The NutriBullet makes getting those vital nutrients fast, convenient, and you'll be amazed just how great it can make you feel. And although it's super powerful, the sleek and stylish NutriBullet is more compact than most traditional blenders, so it's easy to store. It's the NutriBullet, a feel-good, delicious way to do something healthy for yourself and for the entire family. To get the most out of your life, you need to get the most out of your food.
The global best-selling NutriBullet is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 120,000 naira for a blender that doesn't even break the stems, seeds, and skins. But call the number on the screen now and get the original NutriBullet for not 120,000, not even 80,000, but just 59,950 naira. The original NutriBullet comes with a 600-watt motor base available in white and grey. But that's not all. Why not upgrade your NutriBullet from 600 watts to 900 watts with ShopX TV's NutriBullet Pro. The NutriBullet Pro version now available in white, gold, or grey for just 74,950 naira. But hurry, this exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited period only. So call now while stocks last. NutriBullet, the original nutrient extractor. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Well, today, let's start with a bit of culture. We'll kick off with a bit of culture, and then later on, we'll talk about, the news in terms of, the EndSARS report. That the panel of inquiry has submitted its report. We'll talk about that after. But first, to start off with a bit of culture and assists that we get from time to time and from various places. And we're zeroing in particular on the U.S. Consulate Affairs the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation. There is such a fund, and we'd like to find out all about it. And for that purpose, we have with us Mr. Casey Haddock. We do have Mr. Casey Haddock. He's an archaeologist. He's Director of Conservation Programs at SIAC, which is an NGO, and they are the implementing partners for this particular project. And then we have with us also, you know, I'm afraid I missed that out. You're the U.S. Consulate Public Affairs
Officer.
Public Affairs Officer. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Of course, it's sweet our belly to be here.
That's a nice bit of pigeon in there. You know, thank you very much. I thought we should find out about this. It's the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation. And since you have ambassadors all over the world, the U.S., I'm imagining that what we're benefiting from that fund here has also been in operation elsewhere before. You know,
that's correct.
When was this fund established, the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation? When was it established?
That's a great question. It was actually started by Congress in 2001 to really show respect for cultures all around the world. This fund kicked off in Nigeria in 2011. We've had 11 projects since then, 11 successful projects, including the one that's happening in the Oshogbo Sacred Grove, for about $1 million. And so it's also north and south in Nigeria, and it's a great component to the great relationship we have with Nigeria. We have a security relationship. We have an economic relationship. We have a very robust health relationship, and this cultural relationship also adds more to that dimension.
Now, it's a cultural preservation fund. I imagine you will be giving, can people get grants? Is it that people get grants from the funds, and what are they to do with those grants? Because I imagine there are sort of guidelines, you know, you can't just take the money and do what you want with it.
Yeah, of course, that's correct. So it's a competition. It's a worldwide competition. Applications are actually open right now. They're open until December 5th. And all of that information is available on our website. It goes from documentation to preservation to even documenting sort of disappearing cultures or other kind of cultural artifacts. So it's all on our website, which is ng.usembassy.gov. And all of that information is there, and we really welcome museums, NGOs, all kinds of entities to apply.
Well, by the way, when I introduced him, I used his office, Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Consulate Affairs, but Stephen Ibeli. And you probably agree with me, it does sound like an Edo name.
Yes, I'm from Edo State.
Because when I heard Stephen Ibeli was coming, I said, oh, that's nice. Which state is he from? He said, actually, he's an American. I said, okay, I understand that. He's a Nigerian American. Say, no. But there you go. So Ibeli, the name does sound, although you have a double L in your name, yes. Ibeli might have, if it were Nigerian, probably will have just the one L. Now, you're here with Casey Haddock, and Casey is, as I said, an archaeologist, and he's Director of Conservation Programs at SIAC. SIAC is an NGO. You're implementing partner. What does that mean as it relates to the Ambassadors Fund, implementing partner?
That's exactly right. Yeah, SIAC is the grant recipient on this application, and so together with the National Commission of Museums and Monuments and the Adunio Larisha Trust, we'll be carrying out all of the work on this project. And so on this particular project, we're doing the digital documentation of the Busayan Shrine at the Oshogbo Sacred Grove in order to develop a conservation plan. The site was damaged by flooding in 2019, and so this work will help in future restoration efforts.
Okay, now to be clear, it's the Busayan Shrine, and that's within the Oshun Sacred Grove in Oshogbo, and a lot of Nigerians will connect immediately up with Adunio Larisha,
Susan Wagner, who came to Nigeria and adopted the Yoruba worldview, became a Nigerian and spent, what, a very, very long time in Nigeria. I wonder if you are aware of relationships going back to then, because there you go, that's a picture of the sacred Oshun Grove, and that's part of the legacy that Susan Wagner left Nigerians. You know, she was an artist, she was, you know, and she even was experimental with her colors. But maybe I could bring that back to Stephen. Did you have any relations with, you know, the Oshun Grove of that time as it was developing?
There's a long history of that relationship, and so we did have a nexus of cooperability and cooperation. And really, I think what's great about this project is we are taking this forward. We are teaching these skills to the next generation, so it will guarantee that the Grove will be in very, very good hands. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is such a great heritage, a great treasure for Nigeria, and so this grant not only maps the shrine itself, but also trains the next generation to be able to take it forward.
And you just talking about it being a national heritage site. That's UNESCO.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
A UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's one of two in Nigeria. The other being, I understand, Sukor in Adamawa State of Nigeria. You've been working on that as well, but everything in its own time period, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that's another, you know, very well-known Nigerian in the cultural field. Nike is, you know, what she's, Madame Nike, she's popularly known. Now, I wanted to ask, you just said you help train people in this project. What does that mean? Because take, for instance, the Oshun Oshogbo Shrine, and in this case, the Busoyin Oshun Oshogbo Sacred Grove, and then the Busoyin Shrine within that grove. So what is it that you teach? Because the culture was here, this is where it was then arguably in some measure of ruins, and you helped to make sure, bring all these back together, rehabilitate it and all of that. So what is it exactly that you'll be teaching? Will it be the culture or the upkeep?
I think mostly it's the upkeep. I know Casey can also speak to that as well. But in order to do restoration, if you're going if you're driving somewhere, in order to know where you're going, you need a map. And it's sort of the same thing with the shrine. In order to know how to restore it, you need to know really what it looked like from before.
Okay.
And training is always a component in some way to many of our grants. If you look at what we've done for museums, the Museum of National Unity in Enugu, or Ibadan, we've done digitization training, for example, where museums can digitize some of their collection. All of that is training, because the training helps to put this forward. Long after the grant is concluded, long after the implementers have finished their work, people here on the ground who have this passion, who have this commitment to all of these sites can carry this work forward.
You were telling me about mapping. Well, I don't know if you use the word mapping, but 3D, you know, you take a 3D image, and it seems to me that that's about seeing even things that might have disappeared, you know, going back in time. Tell me about that, because that's a lot of computerdom, digital work, and that kind of a thing, to try to see back into the past. And I imagine this is very regular to you, you being an archaeologist and all.
Yeah, no, this is a great question. And I think like the training that we're talking about here is training in how to use these technologies. And so our partners on this project are the National Commission of Museums and Monuments. And so the National Commission selected people from Osun State and then also throughout Nigeria to learn some of the techniques that we use. And so we use LiDAR, laser scanning, to document these places, in addition to a process called photogrammetry, where we take thousands of images and generate this really accurate 3D model that is accurate to the millimeter. And you can use that, like I mentioned, the site was damaged by flooding, to generate a plan of work to restore this site. And we're really grateful that this site has an active community. The Adunio Lurisha Trust has a community of artisans that are still working to preserve this place. And so this effort is just to provide kind of a roadmap for them to do the restoration of this incredible shrine.
Okay. He spoke about the Adunio Lurisha Trust. That, again, is Nigeria. I mean, Susan Wegner's adopted Nigerian name, Adunio Lurisha. And it's a trust. And so you work, that is the consulate works with that trust?
The relationship the consulate has with this particular project is with SCI-ARC, and then SCI-ARC has involved all of those partners. But you're right. It takes a partnership. It takes multiple partners to really make these projects successful. It's not just the consulate. It's not just one implementer. It's involving the community. It's involving the community leaders. It's involving the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. And sometimes that process can be slower because of all the multiple partners, but the result is always better.
Okay.
Definitely.
Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the king of Oshogbo also visited, and he shared a very personal... The Atoja of Oshogbo. He shared a personal story about this shrine, and that his mother went there before he was even conceived and asked for a son. So I think like these places, cultural heritage, just you can see how important it is to the community, to personal histories, as a tourism draw.
Yeah.
This is now my second time, and I can't wait to come back to Nigeria.
You know, it's interesting that, okay, I got to go on a commercial break now, so but stay with us, and I'm going to come back and we'll a few more questions, and if we can, we'll even take one or two calls, depends on how it goes. Stay with us, please, we'll be right back.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1, sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
Okay, welcome back, and we're chatting this morning with Stephen Ibeli, U.S. Consulate Affairs Public Affairs Officer, and Casey Haddock, who is an archaeologist and the Director of Conservation Programs at SCI-ARC, which is an NGO and implementation partner of the U.S. Consulate, well, for the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation. I like that, the cultural preservation, and he was just telling us about still having people to work with, people who are, you know, of course, I was reminded of the Yoruba worldview, which I imagine you're very familiar with. I mean, everybody knows creation started where?
Olodumare.
There you go. That's where creation started from, and it's so working with all of these. It's like there's a need. Well, not so much a need. You wish to say this is important to the people culturally. It goes back eons, and we need to not lose that. And so whatever we can do, since it's a living kind of. Well, we were talking about pantheons before coming on. This is a living culture, a living history, and there are people who actually still live it as their reality.
Absolutely.
They worship it,
Sure.
they worship in there, and all of these need to be preserved, right? You're doing it right now in the shrine that I was talked about, Busanyi Shrine, but you've also done it in other places. There's the Sukkah in Adamawa. This is important.
It is important. You know, for a culture to really know where it's going, you have to know also where you have been, because that is how these things go from generation to generation to generation. And so we're working, another project that we're working with is in Sombo Aredo in Epe, where we're really excavating.
Epe in Lagos State?
Yes, and really mapping the Ajebo kingdom and all of the canals that sort of went around and that kingdom. And that will also be documenting that, because no one really has a sense of what that looks like from the air, for example. So that is really, really important to go forward and to increase that knowledge and progress this idea, progress this knowledge, for future generations.
We're going to be showing some pictures, so that maybe you could talk us through those pictures. There you go. If you look there on the monitor, well.
Yeah, that was in Ifa when we were preserving oral traditions. That is Ecom rock art. That is from Cross River and Jigawa states. And so we also hope to exhibit those sort of post-COVID as we get out of the pandemic at the National Museum in Calabar, as well as the National Museum in Lagos. And
Who's that guy in the Adire? There's an Adire there too. You see?
Yeah, that's one of the curators. That also is the Ife cultural oral traditions, the oral tradition culture of Ifa. That we again worked with very, very closely with the IFA Heritage Institute. And so these are sort of a sampling of some of these
Okay, I was talking about the guy extreme right on our screen.
That is one of our partners from the African Rock Art, or the Trust for African Rock Art. So again, bringing it back to partners, right? Bringing it back to that. We work very, very closely with the Trust in establishing this exhibit and bringing the rocks to Calabar and also to Lagos.
Tell me, Stephen, who can apply to be, supported by this the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation? You did say it was something of a competitive nature.
It is competitive, and so you submit an application. It's open to museums. It's open to nonprofits. It's open to anyone really that is a nonprofit. It really is targeted, towards that. All of the information, all of the information is on our website. It's very, very detailed to go in. So I beg, make Una send in application sharpo. The deadline now December 5th.
It's open till December 5.
It's open till December 5.
Okay. Well, you just heard them. Make una send in application, no? That's how willing. Now, it's a $1 million.
Well, the fund, it's been $1 million since 2011. The ceiling, in other words, the floor, the minimum is $10,000, and it goes up to the ceiling of $500,000. So you can apply for any any amount of funding from $10,000 to $500,000.
And to get the details of that, you have to go to your website.
Yes.
There's very comprehensive stuff.
It is very comprehensive, and it talks about really what are the do's and the don'ts. So there are some don'ts. For example, we're not going to build a structure, for example. It's more about documenting, preserving this kind of approach, but all of that information is on the website.
Does that, Casey, stretch to excavation of sites?
Yeah, I think the AFCP doesn't typically fund excavation.
Because that's a real pricey number.
Yeah, it also disturbs the archaeology, and I think this AFCP is really about preserving cultural heritage, restoring certain places, but I pass it back to Stephen, but my understanding is excavation is not typically covered.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. But then staying... going back again to the 3D imaging that you work on there, I was just wondering, does that, because you're talking about not wanting to damage the site, so what kind of equipment does that, is it related, because look, men in hard hats, archaeologists from 1900s. It's not very much like that anymore, is it? Now you're aided by science. What kind of equipment is brought to bear on those kind of operations?
Yeah, so on this particular project, we worked with architects and surveyors from the National Commission of Museums and Monuments using these really high-tech tools. And so we had a GPS and a total station to kind of map in this site in space and understand its relationship with the river, that's the Oshun River, which is right adjacent. Then we also use these LiDAR laser scanning, which uses millions of points to create a really accurate 3D model of that site, and then overlaid on top of that are thousands of photographs. So what you end up with is a really high resolution model that you can use to support the conservation, but also you can also tell stories about that place, put it online, create virtual reality experience of
because
that
this
place.
will be documented and it will ultimately be available to the public who wants to access it.
Definitely.
Madam Ada in Jos, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to our guests there.
Indeed.
Ada from Jos.
Stephen and Casey.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you dressed to go with your topic today, Mr. Yori. You know, language, dressing, and what have you are part of one's culture. Now, people that does not have, people that do not have a culture or work towards preserving the good aspect of their culture is working towards losing their identity. Your guests there, I want to find out from them. Just like you said, when I heard that name Rebelli, I was thinking he's an African American. Do you believe in shrines?
So what's your question to Steve?
Do they believe in shrines, the efficacy of shrines, in Nigerian, African shrines or whatever? Do they believe in it? Let them tell us. God bless Nigeria. Let's not give up on our culture.
The thing is a bit low in studio, but did you catch that?
A little bit. I wasn't exactly clear on the question.
Ada, could you, we'll try and raise the volume a bit. Could you say that again, please? Oh. It was a bit too low, so it's a problem. Ada wanted to ask something, but did you hear that?
I just heard about cultural preservation, but I didn't really, I don't think the question was actually formulated by the time she got cut off.
Well, I think also part of it that we couldn't hear about was whether it was important, whether it was material that, I think there's also the issue of, well, we know, well, we can imagine that you're expatriates, and maybe she was asking about, look, does it matter being what you are and the beliefs entrenched in a lot of these projects, the world views?
Yes.
So does that affect anything?
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's what we're really trying to preserve. You know, we often get asked, what's in it for the U.S. government? And I always tell people, we're not like a company. Our bottom line is not really profit. Our bottom line is impact. And so this, you know, a project that is successful for us is a project that has impact. A project that is successful for us is going to progress the cultural preservation to the next generation. A project that's successful for us is involving the community, is involving the partnerships, is really exposing and propagating this worldview that we're trying to preserve.
Okay. Let's take it from Roland in Calabar. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
In the studio.
Yeah.
Madam Ada's question was actually an interesting one. She was asking if your guests believe in the efficacy of African shrine.
Well, yeah. Stephen just addressed it. But okay. Thank you very much for calling in. Stephen just addressed that issue. That really, for them, maybe paraphrase it a bit for.
Sure. Yeah, as I said, it's our interest is really impact. Our interest also is, as Congress envisioned, to show respect for cultures, to bring the cultural ties between the United States and Nigeria closer, and to work together with partnerships. And as Casey talked about, bringing technology. Archaeology these days, you know, we think of the, you know, the return of the mummy, and you're digging. And it's, you know, it's really high tech now. And so we also bring that aspect to it, to share with our partners so they can learn, so they can be trained. And this is why it's so, this training component, this digitization, use of technology is really so important, because that also prepares the next generation to preserve the cultures even in a better way.
Okay. Well, there's a sense in which you do support, you know, the worldview of the community that you come to work with. You respect it, and you'll do whatever you can to help develop it. And that's it. It's an adjunct to other cooperations, as you said earlier, between the U.S. and Nigeria. There's the whole trade, business, whatever. But this is an adjunct to that as well.
Absolutely, and an important one.
And a very important one. One more time then, maybe just talk about the website that people watching this could go to check that out.
Sure. It's our mission website. It's ng.usembassy.go. And once you get to the website, there's an education and culture part. You just click on that and you will find Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation. And as I said, applications are open until
December 5.
December 5.
And it ranges from $10,000
to $500,000.
To $500,000. Okay. What was the 1 million that we were hearing about?
The 1 million is what we have funded in Nigeria since 2011. So we have funded 10 projects in Nigeria for a total of approximately 1 million.
You know, there's such a lot more that we could talk about, but we've got to leave it here for now. And I'd like to thank you very much, Stephen Ibeli, for coming along, as well as Casey Haddock, the new face of archaeology. You're missing the hard hat.
No, but he's got the tech. Right?
But he has the tech now.
Yeah, he's got the tech.
Thank you both, gentlemen, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
All right, then. Okay, so stay with us, please. We'll be right back, and then we'll look at other aspects of our life today. In particular, the EndSARS report has been submitted to the Lagos State Governor. We'll look at that. Stay with us, please.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
With investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
In the month of November, 25 years ago, on the 7th of November, an ADC airline flight crashed at Ejinri, a suburb of Lagos, killing 114 passengers and crew. This again brings the aviation sector under focus. On the 10th of November 1995, Niger Delta environmental activist Ken Saro-Wiwa was executed by hanging. 26 years after, has the question that led to his death been answered? The 14th is dedicated to creating awareness on diabetes, which is responsible for over 1.5 million deaths globally per year. On the 16th, the world marks International Day for Tolerance. And on the 17th, International Students' Day will be marked. 19th is for the male gender on International Men's Day. And on the 25th, efforts to end gender-based violence take center stage as the world marks International Day for the elimination of violence against women. Stay with TVC News.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. Unlabeled lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions on their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We cover the big political stories in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews, travel news, and much more.
Nigeria, it's more than just politics. It's life.
Start your day with us every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back. And as you know, it's all over the news. In fact, you know, the Lagos EndSARS report was submitted to the governor. And one of the papers this morning is talking about anger over Lagos EndSARS report. That's just one of the papers. UN, US, SANs to government act on Lagos EndSARS report is another headline. It's all over the place. Even one of my guests, Mr. Malaki Ugumadu, former president CDHR, has actually made his own comment too, and it's out there. And we have also Nelson Ekujimi, human rights activist, public affairs analyst, and he was there with the panel observing it, virtually becoming an unofficial member of the panel from day one till the very, very end, right?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Indeed. Starting from there, how do you think it went? How the methodologies that they went about, that they employed to do their work, satisfactory?
Yes, I must state very clearly that the panel came out doing their job thoroughly, because all parties, people who petitioned, you know, were allowed to have their say in court, and you know, respondents also had the opportunity of, you know, saying their, giving their own side of the story. And the panel also called for testimonies from, you know, experts on gray areas, and we saw the experts, you know, appear before the panel to throw more light on areas that needed to, you know, to be explored further. By and large, the panel, as you know, the procedure, you know, was very, very good. Along the line, the panel had to change its methods from, you know, oral testimony to front-loading of processes. And, you know, at the end of the day, people like us who are laymen, we became semi-legal practitioners.
Paralegals.
Only remaining for us
Paralegals.
remaining for us to go to the higher institution, as well as the Nigeria, as well as the law school, to be certified as a legal counsel.
You know, it's officially known as the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on restitution. Is that right? Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on restitution for victims of SARS-related abuse and other matters. All of that was in there. You've commented, and among the panel actually, you know, had some major recommendations. One of which is that there probably needs for disciplinary action to be visited on high-ranking people that were invited to the panel, soldiers in particular, and that didn't honor those those invitations?
Well, first of all, let me commend the panel. I actually had a couple of cases there, but we dealt with one, which was in the favor of my client. He got compensations, and I also commend her because unlike the other three, in respect of whom I petitioned the panel, she's the only lady, but because she's also a member of the CDHR, she summoned the courage to go through all the requirements, including that front loading that became a bit difficult for so many people. The panel was constituted pursuant to the Tribunal of Inquiry Law, Chapter T7 of the Laws of Lagos State, 2015. The recommendation is submitted. I'm sure that the official report itself, as shown, is already before the government. The next struggle is the implementation of the report. And I imagine that is what has informed the constitution of the four-man body to be headed by the Attorney General of the Lagos State. Those who did not appear have been penciled down for further disciplinary actions. Now, who does that? Who enforces that? To what extent can the Lagos State mechanisms of uncovering what has happened in Lagos State apply to officers of the Nigerian military? Do they have the capacity and power to get that enforced? Those are the issues.
Those are the issues.
But as a nation, we have come to this point where we're no longer under any ambivalence as to what happened.
Yeah.
Enough has happened with respect to subjecting the events of those periods into serious, crucible evaluations. Reports are out. Evidence is out there now. As a matter of fact, what you have now is sufficient enough to grant further actions. Anyone who decides, as I've admonished, to go to court now, either to enforce his fundamental rights, and make no mistake about it, the rules of rights enforcement procedure does not require the victim himself any longer to be the applicant.
Okay.
Friends, relations, nest of kings can go to court on behalf of the victims, including those who were killed, to enforce their fundamental rights. With the report available, it can further fortify the case you bring to court.
Because the panel actually recommends, Nelson, disciplinary action against Lieutenant Colonel S.O. Bello and Major General Godwin Omelo for refusing to honor the panel's invitation, were summoned, and soldiers deployed to Lekki Toll Gate on October 20, 2020 should all be stripped of their status and be dismissed from service. Those are one of the...
Well, I've seen these reports, but I'm very, very careful because the report has not come out from the official sources. It's when we want to act on a report, I think we should expect the panel itself or the Lagos State government to release a white paper on the report. Then we'll know that we are talking, authoritatively. As it is, this report can as well be said to be, from the rumor mill.
Okay, and also continuing from that rumor mill, the panel recommends that all arrested during the protest should be granted bail, prosecuted, and where there is no evidence should be released. I didn't even know that there are still individuals being held.
So that is some of the drawbacks. Yes, we accept that we're all waiting for the white paper, and a period of a fortnight from the point of submission is given for that to be ready. But, what is out there now is what has always been known. It was only the narrative created by the government itself that tended to, obfuscate what was already known, namely that people, Nigerians, were killed. Secondly, that there were sufficient effort to suppress the events of 20th October 2020. And thirdly, that there were cover-ups, attempts to cover it up. It is on that score that very many people have started commending at least the Lagos State government that has come out fully with a thorough judicial process through the judicial panel to uncover what has happened. And if you may, there were very serious international media organizations, governments, agencies, embassies, the US, UK, and so on and so forth, including Amnesty International, that gave a graphic account of what they believe happened. So if you gather all of those, and as victims, you don't need all of those to at least activate your rights. Indeed. So if we already know, I personally took a lot of matters there. So do I need an official report before I am convinced that this is what happened? It was on the account of direct victims of. I think what was a bit missing is that very high-profile people were not directly affected. Otherwise, the narrative would have shifted a bit. Yeah. These are ordinary Nigerians who felt the pains and pangs of the violence perpetrated by the Nigerian police and who were very determined to give effect to what they believed were the rights that they still have. And that was what happened. And in that light, I imagine, the federal government, the panel also recommends that the federal government should publicly apologize to Nigerian youths for, undermining the EndSARS protests with their state actors, is the way it is phrased. This is in addition to, wanting the Lekki Toll Plaza to be made a memorial. And, I think 20th of October of every year should also, be considered to be named Toll-Free Day, as long as the toll gate exists. Well, as an observer at the panel, I can tell you clearly that, some of the recommendations or some of the findings of the panel, to my layman's, to my own understanding, are at variance with the proceedings of the panel. Because I recollect that as a young man while growing up, you just need to monitor judicial cases on the pages of newspaper or through the media. And as an outsider, you can arrive at a conclusion. And definitely this is where the pendulum swings at the end of the day. But unfortunately, I saw some of the recommendations, even though, like I said earlier on, I'm cautious. And I'm like, was this what really transpired? I make reference to the issue of the DPO of Morocco that was indicted. I find that very, very, the indictment against the course of justice. That a DPO was alleged to have led his men after the military had left the place, and up till the close of the panel proceedings, no witness could come out and say, I saw the DPO. All the petitioners did was that people told us that was the DPO. Okay. And I thought the judiciary only acts on the basis of evidence and not on AC. Okay. How can somebody say, we saw him, and nobody can provide a picture, nobody knows his name? And when the man came, and the man was summoned, and the man said, look, the worst of all was that they said the man was wearing a white jalabia. And the man said, how can I wear a white jalabia on an operation? It's even risky for my own safety.
Bobby Kennedy in Jalingo, thank you for holding on. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Larry.
Good morning, sir. Carry on, please.
First of all, sir, I just have to give kudos to the government and the governor and the panel of inquiry that was set up by Lagos State government. We just have to give them kudos for a job well done. They were not biased. This thing actually happened, but all we get is just different kind of lies from the Minister of Information. Sir, I just want to give the federal government one special advice. I think it's high time the Minister of Information should just step aside if he is not fired, because it's a disgrace to this nation, and this is not what we are supposed to experience at this time. I must give kudos to the Executive Governor of Lagos State. It's an APC state, and the federal government is APC, but they actually shielded any party line outside this and did exactly what justice is meant. May God bless you, bless Nigeria, and let's stay in peace. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
Indeed, thank you very much. Malaki, the divisional police officer of the Morocco police station, CSP Raji Ganiu, and policemen deployed from the station on the 20th and 21st of October 2020. This recommendation that they should be prosecuted for arbitrary and indiscriminate shooting and killing of protesters. What do you make of it?
Well, those are going into the specifics of the reports, and the body of evidence that the panel had. You recall that these are specific cases. You know, I wasn't there all day like Mr. Ikujimi, but he has an opportunity, having been so evaluated to the extent of his participation, to also make his own intervention. This is a panel report. Yes, it has gone into the archives, almost to be gazetted now. But I believe that having seen snippets of the report that affects him, he can make objections if need be, and they're strongly enough to be able to at least point out that anomaly, if that is how he sees it. Okay. In my view, sir, the point to be made is that the Nigerian state must take full advantage of this to correct some of the malfeasance that has kept us where we are. First is to seize the denial that nothing happened, because that was a bit depressing for the victim. I was in court on that day, not even on my matter, in which the parents of one of the young Nigerians who were killed, shot point blank, were reminded, the families were reminded, the father, the mother, through a cross-examination, that do you now see that your son was involved in armed robbery? And I said, come, wait a minute. When has it become the verdict of a police officer to conclusively arrest, kill, and then come to court and have the temerity to rub it in the minds and soul and pains of people?
Which probably speaks to another recommendation of the panel, that the police need to be trained.
What was the essence of the court at all, if you can just conclude that this is an and kill?
Nana, did I get that right? Nana in Ojuelegba, Lagos. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, go right ahead, quickly, please.
Hello?
We can hear you. Good morning, sir. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you. You got to say something, please.
Yes. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Yuri.
Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
So, what is going on now in Nigeria? Can you hear me? Hello?
Nana, we can hear you. Please just go ahead.
He's listening to him.
Don't listen to yourself on your TV.
Yeah.
Well, Nana doesn't know how we roll here. It's the first time I've heard that name. But just in case it happens again, Nana, once we say hello to you, please just continue. There might be echoes, and there's the temptation of some to listen to themselves on television. That won't work. So sorry that we couldn't hear the valuable input that you wanted to make. Again, switching to our lawyer here, that they were recommending that all those who were arrested during the protest should be granted bail and prosecution. I'm surprised that there still are people, shall we say, in custody.
So that is the poverty of the situation. If the military, if the government, through the Minister of Information, even the Attorney General of the Federation, are still in the business of denial, are still in the denial mood, then you would expect that concrete cases reported, echoed, are not just disregarded, but are continuing to perpetuate. In which case, it is now the response, almost unconditionally, the release of every person who was taken in on account of this struggle. Exactly. Secondly, even the Constitution insists that there must be apology. Open apology. Once you unlawfully abridge the rights, particularly the liberty of any Nigerian, you are obligated by the Constitution to apologize, besides compensations.
So we're going to have to wait and see, how government reacts to this. Solomon in K2. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yuri.
Did I get that right? Solomon?
Good morning. From Cape Town, not K2.
Oh, Cape Town, not K2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a far distance away. Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not screaming. To the man on your left, with white, what's it called? I quite understand with him. We need to be a bit careful and cautious with comments we make now. And to your other panelists, I think he's a lawyer and should understand it a bit better. Because one question I'd like to ask, Kyori, I'm really very sorry. The report you are reading out, is it straight from the panel or from government or what we are tapping from the social media? Because we all need to be very, very careful.
We don't tap from social media.
I'm coming to Kyori.
We don't. I just thought we should just clear that. We don't tap from social media. You can take news as, the source of whatever we say here.
Can I give an example? Example?
Yeah.
This morning, there was a panel, there was an EFCC chairman on one of your talk shows, and he made it known to us that all have been peddled in the social media, in the news media, about a diamond bra never existed. So we all need to be very, very careful. That's I'm asking the report your other panelists co-supporting, is it straight from the state government, from the panels, or what you are getting from the social media?
Okay, thank you very much for calling in. I thought you would have heard when it was said that a white paper is expected imminently, and that is, but this...
I think that is the point. Look, yes. I'm quite concerned about what you are saying. But look, I'm a Nigerian, I'm here. I am a participant in the process. I said I have cases there. I am responding based on what I witnessed and what I participated in. I recognize that the official white paper is expected, but as Nigerians, indeed, this matter has been on all through the week, even before the submission of the report. So the issue is that the matter, has affected Nigerians in a way that requires every evaluation of it, even from participants who had the opportunity to witness what happened. And we are discussing it, pending when that report comes out.
Okay. Well, so thank you very much, Solomon in Cape Town. All the Nigerian newspapers, if you get a chance to check them out, they're all talking about this. I have another caller, which I don't. Bernard in Port Harcourt, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My contribution is that I want everybody to look at it this way, that those people who said nothing happened when the EndSARS issue took place, as some said something happened. All of them were just, a hearsay. Now a panel has been set up, and the panel have come up with their conclusion. And I think we have to start from where the panel have, what the panel has come up with. So talking about whether some government said nothing happened or some people said something happened, I think that one has been laid, has been arrested.
Okay.
So by conclusion, I think let us start working with the panel results. This is what they have come up with.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Bobby Kennedy. Sorry. Bobby Kennedy is from Jalingo, and you are Bernard from Port Harcourt. Can't be transposing names all over the place. So really, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, and because we had to talk about this. It's an important time. It's an important segment in the timeline since the unfortunate incident and the...
Sorry, my parting shot would be that if it proves difficult to deal with those who have perpetrated these malfeasance within the municipal laws of Nigeria, what has been established appears to be crimes against humanity, and they can be qualified candidates to the International Criminal Court. And that can be part of the campaign.
Okay, spoken, as a human rights lawyer, you got any final
Yes, my parting shot is that I had high hopes with the panel, even though we have not seen the reports officially. But for a panel that sat for a year to be presuming on an issue before it. I don't think that was, tidy enough.
Okay.
I would expected the panel for areas that were still great to them to have adjourned Sinadai on such cases awaiting further investigation.
Did you just say Sinadai?
Yeah, I said so.
And
because of my experience in the last 1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Comrade Nelson, they're preaching me. There you go. You're fast on the way. But jokes apart, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your insightful contributions. That's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.
This festive, choose joyful time.
Let's do this. Let's get this done.
Quality time. Family time. Anytime. Choose fist pumping. Heart thumping. Awe-inspiring. Choose to get lit. To go for it.
A new beginning.
It's like playing the drums. And to go large. Choose drama for days. Love. Every moment together with DSTV.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Imagine replacing your entire cookware set with a collection of the finest pans designed and made of the highest quality craftsmanship. And imagine your entire cookware set built using Ceramtech, a new generation of healthy ceramic non-stick technology, meaning nothing will stick to your pan. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Copper Chef Deluxe Collection. Each pan in the Deluxe Collection features Copper Chef's innovative stainless steel induction plate that heats your food quickly and evenly with no hot spots, making it perfect for any surface: electric, gas, ceramic, and induction. And because you are cooking with ceramic non-stick, you don't have to add all that extra fat and butter. Our Copper Chef pans are also heat-proof up to 850 degrees. Incredible.
What I love about the Copper Chef pan is that it's quite multi-purpose. You can use it on your induction hob, you can use it to boil, to fry, to bake, and to braise. The Copper Chef is amazing.
Copper Chef is the only pan I use in my kitchen. I love it.
With over 1 million units sold worldwide, Copper Chef is taking the cooking industry by storm and is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. Call the number on the screen now and get the Copper Chef triple combo for not 300,000 naira, not even 200,000 naira, but just 83,900 naira only.
But wait, every day is Black Friday this November at ShopX TV. So, order now and you can get this triple combo selection for just 75,700 naira only. That's over 10% off. Amazing.
But that's not all. ShopX TV is also proud to introduce the Copper Deluxe Collection. This special edition is an upgrade to the Triple Combo Plus and includes 2 Copper Chef Standard pans, 2 Copper Chef Extra Large pans, 1 Copper Chef Round Frying Pan, 1 Copper Chef Extra Large Square Frying Pan, and over 11 accessories, including 2 deep fry baskets, 2 steam racks, 5 tempered glass lids, 2 sets of cooking utensils, and the award-winning Eric Face recipe book, all for just 157,200 naira only. Incredible!
But if you order now, you won't get the Copper Chef Deluxe Collection for the regular price of 157,000. Call the number on your screen now or visit our website, that's shopxtv.com, and get the Deluxe Collection at our Black Friday price of just 141,480 naira only. Incredible!
But hurry, the exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited period only. So call now while stocks last. Let's get cooking!
ShopX TV are proud to be the exclusive distributors of the Copper Chef brand and products across West Africa.
The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thank you for joining us on TVC News at noon. We begin the news from Abuja, where Nigeria's House of Representatives has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the diplomatic row between the country and the United Arab Emirates. It has also called for immediate reinforcement of security personnel to communities bordering Sambisa to stall further attacks. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
A minute's silence in memory of Todue Salem, a parliamentary reporter said to have been killed by hit-and-run driver. Prayers were also said for the repose of his soul.
And may the soul of the great communication icon rest in perfect peace. Amen. Amen.
To legislative matters, the recent killing of a brigadier general and 3 soldiers in an ambush by suspected terrorists in parts of Borno State is one devastating news to these legislators. Incessant attacks and ambushes are now common features of the daredevil bandits who kill, destroy, and maim at will.
During such attacks, private and public properties are burnt down, stores with food items looted, all people living in these areas displaced into nearby bushes, with all the risks and consequences that follow.
I want to emphasize on the need to change strategy. Whether we like it or not, you cannot sit in your comfort zone waiting for the insurgents to come and attack you so that you can repel them.
In another motion, the legislators resolved to investigate Virgin Atlantic Airline over alleged unfair treatment of passengers, including children.
The Federal Ministry of Aviation, as well as the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, to interface with Virgin Atlantic to offer compensation to the passengers that were denied refreshment.
Minority Leader Ndudi Lumelu draws attention to the diplomatic row between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates in its motion of urgent national importance.
Why have we gone so low that even a Ghana that does not even have the kind of population and even the resources that we have in this country can be so granted visa-free nation to enter UAE without all these things that they require Nigerians to undertake before they enter UAE?
We are on the verge of getting our citizens completely disengaged from their gainful economic activities.
An ad hoc committee has now been set up to promptly investigate issues in contention between the two countries in the interest of the citizens. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
The federal government is calling on Nigerians in diaspora to come home and invest in the country while promising a good return on investments made. This call was made by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the 4th Diaspora Investment Summit in Abuja. Muyo Thomas reports.
The 4th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit opens in Abuja with the theme Partnerships and Linkages for Post-COVID Economic Growth. The summit is a platform for Nigerians abroad to leverage on the private sector to invest in the country. This has become crucial as countries across the world, Nigeria included, tries to weather the downturn in the global economy created by COVID-19 pandemic. Beyond seeking foreign direct investment, it has been established that diaspora direct investment plays a vital role in boosting Nigeria's economic growth. And this is what the summit is out to leverage on.
I say that I want to encourage all Nigerians in the diaspora, do what all these groups are doing. Abroad, they get people together to say what they can do. Nigerians in the UK alone they have an economic worth over £70 billion. It's documented. There's no debate about it. So what we're doing is encourage them to do something back in their own home country. After retirement, after everything abroad, you're still coming back home.
The contributions of the diaspora into the country over the years and their recent interventions during the COVID-19 period, ranging from the supply of PPEs through training and retraining of COVID-19 experts to educating the citizens on safety measures. You have demonstrated that you are inestimable assets that the government should partner with in spurring rapid economic growth, most especially in this post-COVID-19 era.
This summit, I hope,
will further bring about constructive interface with investors from different fields and calls on all Nigerians in diaspora at home and foreign investors seeking opportunities for investment in Nigeria to key into the summit as a way of ameliorating the economic situation of the country, which has been adversely impacted by the global pandemic.
In his keynote address, Vice President Yemi Osibajo, represented by the Secretary to the State Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, hinges on how much Nigeria relies on the contribution of Nigerians in diaspora.
As one of the top priorities of this administration in the post-COVID era is to reposition the economy of the country, which we believe is achievable with the partnership of the diaspora. The diaspora over the decades have been known as senders of remittances, which have continued to surpass oil revenue, translating to sometimes as high as 6% of gross domestic product. Beyond their well-known role as senders of remittances, however, the diaspora also promote trade and foreign direct investment, create businesses, and spur entrepreneurship.
Government further assures that efforts are ongoing to make Nigeria an investor's paradise. With a large number of Nigerians in diaspora, direct investment from many of them will definitely translate to economic growth for the country. Moya Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
The full involvement of youth in national discourse and development issues can now be the only solution to the multiple problems facing the country. This view was shared by the former INEC chairman, Professor Attahiru Jega, at a memorial lecture in Katsina on the legacies of the late Yusuf Maitama Sule. TVC News correspondent Abdul Latif Yusuf reports.
Nigeria's porous borders has contributed significantly to the insecurity and has had a cumulative effect on national growth and development. It is a discourse that has continued to engage the conscience of elites and the academia, especially how to summon this challenge. Professor Attahiru Jega serves as the chairman of this memorial lecture, which has the topic on its agenda. He is convinced that more youth involvement in national issues will not only bring lasting solutions to problems, but will place the youth in a position of greater responsibility.
While we cherish the memories of what has happened in the past, what kind of leadership have we got from the northern part of this country? So all these challenges we are talking about, whatever it is, crisis in education, crisis in the economy, crisis, social crisis, family values that have collapsed, everything you can talk about, the fundamental basis of this crisis is a crisis of leadership in this country.
The PTDF Executive Secretary Mustaq Arabi also shares his thoughts linking population explosion to border issues and urging the authorities to evolve more innovative ways of engaging border security personnel to take full charge of the territories.
Because our borders are not properly secured. If you have a house, for example, and you leave the door open overnight, you most likely have some visitors that may not be wanted by you. Those visitors may steal certain things from you, or they may even steal you. That is what we have when we have an insecure border.
The special advisor to Katsina State government on security reflects the position of the government on security and transborder issues, which have remained a serious challenge to the northwestern states.
Artificial borders create more problems for us. Instead of wasteful academic exercise, that all the time we emphasize on problems that we cannot solve, why can't we think outside the box? That's the essence of research institutions. That's the essence of the academia. So there should be synergy between research institutions and security outfits and the government.
Views presented at the lecture also underscored the need for more youth involvement in national integration in order to reduce insecurity in the land. Abdul Latif Yusuf, TVC News, Katsina.
Now let's bring you an update from the scene of the gas explosion which took place on Tuesday at the Ladakot Spare Parts Market. The evacuation of goods at the site is currently ongoing. TVC News correspondent Theophilus Ilama reports that authorities at the market have reportedly gotten a permit from the local government authorities to evacuate the goods from the site. But journalists were not allowed to capture the situation as market authorities asked them to leave the scene. Recall that 121 cylinders were recovered from the scene. 6 locked up and 3 temporary shops were destroyed, while windows of 5 residential houses were shattered. 5 persons were killed in the incident, including a 10-year-old boy. Now, for updates from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the country recorded 144 new cases of COVID-19 on Tuesday. In the agency's latest update, the cases were reported in 13 states of the Federation. Imo State recorded the highest number with 38 cases. Plateau State recorded 20 cases, while Lagos recorded 17 cases. There were 4 states with 0 cases, namely Katsina, Ogun, Osun, and Sokoto. With the latest report, 321,000 cases have been confirmed, while 206,206 people were discharged and 2,973 deaths have been recorded in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Stay with us.
In the month of November, 25 years ago, on the 7th of November, an ADC airline flight crashed at Ejinri, a suburb of Lagos, killing 114 passengers and crew. This again brings the aviation sector under focus. On the 10th of November 1995, Niger Delta environmental activist Ken Sarawiwa was executed by hanging. 26 years after, has the question that led to his death been answered? The 14th is dedicated to creating awareness on diabetes, which is responsible for over 1.5 million deaths globally per year. On the 16th, the world marks International Day for Tolerance. And on the 17th, International Students' Day will be marked. 19th is for the male gender on International Men's Day. And on the 25th, efforts to end gender-based violence takes center stage as the world marks International Day for the elimination of violence against women. Stay with TVC News.
Are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
with investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Ever.
Thank you for staying with us. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Rabo, is not impressed about the circulation of the report of the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on restitution for victims of SARS and related abuses. Speaking during a courtesy visit to Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, the defense chief said it was wrong for Nigerians to make disparaging remarks about the military, which worked tirelessly to protect the territorial integrity of the country. Paul Ezenwa reports.
The Chief of Defense Staff is visiting formations under the Operation Delta Safe to boost the morale and encourage officers and men. The operation targets to flush out all forms of criminality in the Niger Delta region, which holds most of the Nigerians' oil wells and critical installations. But the circulation of a report of the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on restitution for victims of SARS and related abuses and reactions it came with got the general's attention.
That there's a report that was released through, in my view, a wrong channel that is making it rounds in the social media. Whether it's a true report, I can't tell, but I'd like to indicate that the normal procedure is to have such a report submitted to the convening authority, and then there will be a white paper that will be presented based on which one can make informed comments. But whatever it is currently, I'd like to indicate that the Armed Forces of Nigeria is a professional armed forces. We are pupilled by Nigerians and we remain committed to constitutional mandates.
Governor Godwin Obaseki commended the effort of the Chief of Defense Staff as well as military officers and men in stabilizing the nation's security.
We're glad that we've come with all the men, with the military and the Navy, to see how you can give us additional support to patrol that waterway and checkmate the activities of the criminals who come in through the grates into that access. You can always count on us in Edo State to help in working with you to stabilize the security of this country. Because as you said, security is everybody's concern. It's not a problem of the military alone. It's more of our problem than even that of the military.
The Chief of Defense Staff was also at the Palace of the Oba of Benin and was commended for the gains recorded by the military.
Loyalty is unprecedented, is unsurpassed, and I continue to encourage the military to be pleased, loyal to the democratic institutions, protect it as much as possible.
The tour of the Chief of Defense Staff is said to be part of efforts to scale up the level of performance of troops on special operations in the South-South geopolitical zone. Paul Ezenwa, TVC News, Benin.
To a rather sad story now, a 36-year-old tricycle operator in Enugu has been arrested by the police for the alleged murder of his son for money rituals. He was arrested alongside a visually impaired octogenarian in connection with the crime. Bamidele Ajayi has details.
It is a naturally traumatic situation in a family when the child is suspected to have been killed by his own father for whatever reasons. On the evening of the 20th of October, Chidi Onyishi was alleged to have taken his first son, Chimdalu Onyishi, out, but did not return with a 7-year-old child. The disappearance of the boy got the family and the neighborhood startled, and the search began. Then, few days after, attention began to go towards Chidi as the one behind the disappearance of his own son. He is suspected to have used the boy for what they refer to as money ritual.
The father took the child and returned without the child. The next thing he said he doesn't know his whereabouts, but before you know it, he confessed that he used the child for a ritual, for a sacrifice.
We called the man the phone. The man will switch his phone off. Till in the evening, we come back here. We ask him, where's your child? The man said, he don't know. So starting from there, we tried to investigation. The man was accusing many people here that there's some people here. Some boys kidnapping his people.
Investigation by the police revealed how the father took the boy to a spiritualist, where he was killed and buried in a shallow grave at the bank of a stream in Abapanike community, Enugu.
Judicial side of it should take its course. We've done our part. If the case has been charged to court, the suspect has been remanded. It's our earnest belief, the belief of the command, that justice will not just be said to have been done, let it be manifestly be seen to have been done.
Mrs. Onyishi battles to deal with the reality of having her son killed by the man she called her husband.
And they didn't tell me the type of sacrifice that I would do. Yeah. So after then I went to my other's house. They told me that I would sacrifice my son. Yeah. So, but I didn't agree at the point. As if we want to baptize him first time, we drag him the second time, third time, then we hold him. After he drinks some water, then we bring him out.
But Enugu State government has come to her aid by providing her and the remaining 5 children a lifeline, while the prosecution of the matter continues.
The government of Enugu is poised to provide immediate support and immediate intervention for the family on behalf of the siblings and the bereaved woman as well. Trusted to also inform the family that the government will use all the powers within its means to ensure that there is diligent investigation of this matter and necessary prosecution.
The Commissioner of Police in the State Command, Abubakar Lawal, has ordered the State Criminal Investigation Department to carry out thorough and conclusive investigation that will aid the prosecution of everyone found culpable in the act. Bamidelia Jaye, TVC News, Enugu.
Plans to create more law campuses across the 6 geopolitical zones in the country is facing stiff opposition from legal practitioners and some federal lawmakers. The Council of Legal Education, Nigeria Bar Association, and some senators have outrightly rejected the idea, citing issues of low funding for the legal sector. National Assembly correspondent TVC News reports.
Every year, thousands of law graduates have their hopes dashed because of their inability to gain admission into law school due to limited facilities and resources. In order to curb this challenge, a bill to establish more campuses across 6 geopolitical zones in the country was introduced to the Senate. At this public hearing at the National Assembly, the sponsor of the bill, Senator Smart Adeyemi, believes the initiative will reduce the burden on the already existing campuses, reduce risks to life, and create fair opportunity for all law students to practice.
My children, when they were to go to law school some 3 years ago, for 1 whole year they were at home. And the reason was there's not just a place for them to go for law school. Then some of our neighbors came to make the same demand that their children at home, they couldn't go to law school. So they stay at home for about 1.5 years. And I said to myself as a lawmaker, my responsibility is to see how we can make law for good governance for our country, to ensure justice, fairness for all. That is the fundamental reason why I decided to sponsor this bill.
But the lawmaker did not get the support of some of his colleagues and other legal practitioners who criticized the bill, suggesting that such resources should be directed to the already existing campuses in need of more funding.
If there is any need to establish a law school in Anambra or Boronu or in Ekiti, anywhere, it must be on need, not because of political consideration. Some news reports have put the cost of constructing the new campuses that we are proposing at 32 billion naira. If that is to be believed, I would say that if this sum is plowed into the targeted infrastructure progress in the already existing campuses of the Nigerian Law School, we will do much more and will make better use of it than to create new law schools.
The House was divided as contributors spoke for and against the bill.
We are elected representatives of the people. Even the Council of Legal Education that we're talking about is under our own oversight authority.
All the people that have spoken against the establishment of these law schools all have law schools established in their states. To say that all of us know that we need these institutions.
The law has not been amended to empower the Council of Legal Education to create campuses. Nowhere in that law are they allowed to do that. If you are going to have a multi-campus system, you must also guarantee that you are going to fund. And I think that is the bottom line.
Just like other arms of government, the judiciary has its own challenges, but the Senate hopes to provide sustainable solutions through legislative interventions such as this. TVC News, Abuja.
The National Youth Service Corps has extended the Health Initiative for Rural Dwellers scheme to IDP camps in Abagana. This was disclosed by the NYSC State Coordinator, Dankaru Ashumate, while talking to internally displaced persons. He encouraged them to take advantage of the scheme and get access to quality health care. Mayor Ukwato reports.
NYSC is now expanding its 2-day medical outreach to providing humanitarian services to the less privileged. This was put on display when the Benue State Coordinator of the NYSC led his teams to the internally displaced persons camp, Abagana, in Benue State. This health initiative for rural dwellers scheme is channeled to bring professionals in the medical line to the aid of rural communities who don't have access or cannot afford quality medical services from professionals.
You all believe with me that it's only few locations, maybe local government headquarters, that have qualified medical doctors. So that is to tell you that our sisters, our mothers, our aged fathers that are in the village, and our kids that are still in the rural area, they don't have access to qualified medical doctors. So this program is meant to bring such professionals closer to them so that they can access the services of this professional just like those in the city and privileged people can access.
All right, that is a wrap on the news at this hour.
In the month of November, 25 years ago, on the 7th of November, an ADC airline flight crashed at Ejinri, a suburb of Lagos, killing 114 passengers and crew. This again brings the aviation sector under focus. On the 10th of November 1995, Niger Delta environmental activist Ken Saro-Wiwa was executed by hanging. 26 years after, has the question that led to his death been answered? The 14th is dedicated to creating awareness on diabetes, which is responsible for over 1.5 million deaths globally per year. On the 16th, the world marks International Day for Tolerance. And on the 17th, International Students' Day will be marked. 19th is for the male gender on International Men's Day. And on the 25th, efforts to end gender-based violence take center stage as the world marks International Day for the elimination of violence against women. Stay with TVC News.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I am sure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello there and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigerians' leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute potpourri of brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth, all aimed at promoting the branded year. I'm Ogalia Bikeli Mafuru.
It's insightful, it's exciting, it's enriching. It's Marketing Edge on TV, a half-hour TV show on the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Marketing Edge on TV is a potpourri of juicy and exclusive industry news on brands, advertising, media, PR, brand and focus, industry conversation, and the entire gamut of integrated marketing communications business. It's a business show with glamour and grandeur. We serve you hot and sizzling with all ingredients in the mix. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Good to have you back. First on Marketing Edge on TV, it's brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing, advertising, and communication in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. The Registrar of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo, has charged all stakeholders of the advertising industry to comply with the set guidelines stipulated in the recently instituted Advertising Industry Standard of Practice (ISOP), as it is geared towards repositioning the industry for inclusiveness and growth. The registrar, who gave this charge in an interview with Marketing Edge, disapproved any kind of action or statement that negates the provisions of the new guidelines, noting that ISOP will be beneficial to all and sundry in the advertising industry and the country at large. While stating that the industry has witnessed an accelerated shift in advertising spend from traditional media to digital media, the APCON umpire said the agency, in a bid to reorganize the business of advertising practice in Nigeria, instituted a new framework to address critical issues that are stifling the growth of the industry. According to the regulatory boss, ISOP, which is in line with the federal government policy focused on stimulating economic growth, was instituted after due consultations with all stakeholders and does not contravene any section of the Constitution. Nigeria's leading financial service provider, First Bank of Nigeria Limited, has reiterated its commitment to youth empowerment and entrepreneurship through the celebration of its ongoing 2021 Youth Week. The Youth Week theme, "The Future is Now, Let's Take Over," started on Monday, 8th November 2021. The event comprises a variety of activities which include youth-themed future forward activities, first at Arts Creative Artistry Empowerment Workshop, grooming and wellness workshops, digital engagement, virtual mini concerts, and many more. Each activity is associated with various gift items, including gift vouchers and cash prizes. The Advertisers Association of Nigeria, ADVAN, has said that the evaluation and selection process of the ADVAN Annual Awards, scheduled for November 21st, 2021 in Lagos, meets global best practice and standard and can be accepted anywhere in the world. Speaking in a statement, the Executive Secretary of ADVAN, Ediri Ose Ediali, said the awards is the most celebrated event in the nation's marketing communications industry, adding that the ADVAN Awards are only presented after a transparent and thorough evaluation process based on laid down best practice parameters. The theme of this year's ADVAN Awards for Marketing Excellence West Africa is Future Fit Marketing. An event will be held at Musin Center, Onikon, Lagos. The categories to be awarded this year include Brand of the Year, People's Brand of the Year, Marketing Professional of the Year, Innovation Campaign of the Year, Digital and Social Media Marketing, Legacy Brand, Indigenous Brand of the Year, amongst others. Modium Communications, Nigeria's fast-growing public relations and marketing communications solutions providing agency, has announced that its 2020 Social Impact Campaign emerged in the top 10 2021 Global Cyber Awards. The campaign, Touching Lives Through a Determined School Child, Dele Fatia, ranked 7th in the overall 2021 Global Cyber Awards, the first time an African PR agency would reach that level since the continent's inclusion in the global competition. Commenting on the award, the Chief Executive Officer, Modium Communications, Odion Alebua, said the historic finish by the agency is a clear expression of the capacity to deliver impactful campaigns that reverberate globally. Recognition by cyber jury affirms that our strategic ideas and creative solutions offered to our various clients are relevant and competitive globally. Advertising professionals have charged practitioners in the industry to harness and hone the advertising craft through creativity to help achieve a memorable and enduring impression in the mind of the audience. Speaking on the need to optimize the advertising solutions, the experts who spoke to Marketing Edge in separate interviews argued that advertisers are now seeking alternative and other perspective to win bigger market share through creativity as a catalyst to change consumers' negative perceptions towards a brand. The experts who averred that innovation is to industry what creativity is to advertising charged creative agencies to ensure they come up with materials that are enduring, emotive, and consumer-oriented. Well, that was brand news. Next is branding focus after this break.
Christmas cloth again. Christmas no be one day. With this and this